Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Simone Lascott, and I'm a first-year resident at Family Practice Residency at Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare. And I'm here this afternoon to dispel some common myths about the flu virus. So the first myth I really get from a lot of my patients is the flu just a really bad version of the common cold? And really, it isn't. So the common cold is caused by a different virus than the influenza virus. So it's actually caused by viruses such as adenovirus and rhinovirus. So those are a lot milder than the influenza virus. And the influenza virus is actually very deadly. About 80,000 people last year in flu season died from the influenza virus, and a lot more were hospitalized and ended up in the ICU. So it's really important that you get your flu vaccine because the influenza virus kills. Another myth that I get from my patients, and is actually one of my personal favorites, is can you actually get the flu from the flu vaccine? Because a lot of patients say, I get my flu vaccine and then I'm sick the next day, and I'm here to dispel that myth. You can't get the flu from you cannot get the flu from the flu vaccine. And the reason is the flu vaccine is actually a kill virus, so it's not going to infect you. What it actually does is allows your body to recognize the flu virus and form antibodies to that virus. And that usually takes about 2 weeks for your body to actually build up those antibodies. So if you get your flu virus on Tuesday and you're sick on Wednesday, it just means that you were probably going to get the flu anyway. Another myth that I get is, does getting the flu shot mean I'm definitely not getting the flu? And well, case in point, if you can hear my voice, I'm very hoarse. So getting the flu shot does not mean that you're definitely not getting the flu, because there are many different strains of the influenza virus out there, and the influenza vaccine that you get covers a certain strain which would have been prevalent last year and would have been deadly last year. So there are other strains that you can get from the influenza virus. And also there are other viruses out there besides the influenza virus. There's adenovirus, there's rhinovirus, there's RSV, and you can also get those viruses even though you had the influenza vaccine. Another myth, is the flu vaccine something I really have to get every year? And the answer is yes. 2 reasons. Your immunity to the flu virus actually wanes over the year, and also the different strains are different every year. So the flu vaccine, will actually cover the strain that was prevalent last year. So you have to get it every year because the immunity wanes and there are different strains every year. And last but not least, is it too late to get the flu vaccine? So the flu season usually starts in December and ends in about February. And usually we like you to get the flu vaccine at least by the end of October, so that when the flu season actually does start, you already have your immunity built up against it. But there's an old saying that is better late than never. So it's not too late to get your flu vaccine. Make sure you get your flu vaccine. So how I also like to do it is a little analogy, because we are a big football town. So think about this. Would a footballer go onto the field without his helmet and his padding and all his gear? And think about the influenza virus as being the opposition. So you go on with no protection, you're going to get tackled, you're going to end up really, really sick and really, really hurt. And that's what happened to about 80,000 people last year, unfortunately. And even more were hospitalized. So think about it. Get your flu vaccine, that's your helmet, that's your protection. You're going to get tackled, so you may end up with the flu virus. But guess what? You're going to get right back up and you're going to keep heading to that end zone. And you're going to get there to the end of the flu season. So for any other questions you guys have or any comments, feel free to comment below, and have a good evening, everyone.